Hi, hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Veronica and I'm a big lover of makeup, so if you want to see more reviews, looks and more fun videos, don't forget to subscribe. In today's video we are gonna talk about some newer palettes and actually we are gonna dupe some of them, so if you are curious about that, please keep on watching. Okay, so as you can see I don't have any eye makeup on. I will list down below everything that I have on my face and we will do an eye look at the end of the video and we are gonna dupe actually two of these palettes. So let's start. I am pretty excited. I really love eyeshadow, as you may know, and duping palettes is very fun. So I do recommend you to try it. Even if you don't have a large singles collection, I do recommend you to mix and match different palettes and see if you have very similar shades to the ones from the palette that you really want. And maybe after that you can decide if you really need that palette or not, because all eyeshadows have already been done, so only the mixing of the shadows is different when creating a palette. So you may already have those shades, and as well usually in a new palette maybe 2, 3, 4 shades are something more unique. So look out for those, because maybe only those are interesting to you and it's not worth buying a whole 10 pen, 12 pen palette or even more shades just to have 1 or 2 or 3 special shadows. So let's start. The first palette that I want to talk about is the new 6 pen palette from McGrath, the neutral one. It looks really good. It looks really amazing for a 6 pen with neutrals. It's a really nice mix of mattes and shimmers. It's well curated, so I really appreciate this palette. I really want to buy one of these 6 pens or the 5 pens that she has, because I am curious about the formula. The other 6 pen that she released was way more up my alley. That one was a bit more pinky shades, but right now it's a bit old news and I think it was available at our Sephora last week for like 1 or 2 days in like a bundle. So I don't want a bundle, I just want the 6 pen, so I maybe will wait just a bit and she will release other color stories and maybe one of those will be more interesting to me. But for this particular palette, this neutral one, I want to recommend a palette that I just purchased that is from the drugstore, that is pretty good quality and maybe it's not at the level of McGrath, but it's so similar in my opinion that I want at least to mention, and is this one from Wet n Wild. This is in Call Me Sunshine, the color Icon. You get more shades in here and this quality is pretty good. The packaging is awful, but this is like $5 or something, so it's way more affordable and it looks something like this. This is a good palette, it's from the drugstore. If you want something like that, I think this is pretty great, so you don't need to splurge on the McGrath. Next palette that I want to talk about is the new Morphe palette, and this is still pretty similar to that one. That one has just too many shades and too light to mid-range shades. This is called the Heatseeker and it looks like a Too Faced palette. Let's get that out of the way, but it's so boring. It's unbelievable how boring that looks. It's with neutral shades. It has just a pop of bright yellow and a pop of actually 3 yellowy greens. I don't know why. Look at the bottom row. All of those 3 yellowy greens look exactly the same. And then 1 bright orange. I heard that the Morphe formula did improve, but this color story is very bland in my opinion. So for sure I am not interested in this, but I wanted to talk about it because it's kind of funny how this color story is. Next I want to talk about the Naked Smiley, the 2 palettes from Urban Decay. These are not that new, but still I want to talk about them because they are a bit more colorful, and for Urban Decay these are very colorful, but these color stories are hurting my eyes. Come on, just do some mattes that make sense. A yellow and a blue, come on. I mean, If somebody loves neutral shades and you are giving them this, that is not a good example of good colorful shades. I heard that the yellow is pretty pigmented and nice, but still, come on, do a nice color story. And for the bottom one is that peachy orangey shade that was in all palettes in like 2016. Come on, and the shimmers look so. This is very boring and a very random collab. I'm for sure not interested in this, and I'm glad that they are doing smaller palettes. That is nice, but please give us something to work with. Next we have the Huda palettes, and I want to talk about this because I do have one of them, and I will include this one in a speed review, but I am giving you a small review right now. If you have any other Huda palette, you for sure have these two palettes because they are not something special. This one has these two as cream shadows. Sadly, they are not a good formula in my opinion, because if you have something underneath this, like a primer, because I always use a primer, this will crease. If you use them on their own, they will maybe work a bit better, but I don't like that. I want a primer, I want this to work on other shadows, on top of other shadows and everything. They are not very versatile, which I don't love. The powdery mattes are pretty good. I do like the quality, but it's nothing special. This is my only Huda palette right now, so I am not mad that I bought this one. But if you have any other pinky color story, you already have this. And for the other one as well, if you have any neutral palette from Huda, you already have those shades as well. So nothing really special about these. Then we have the 6 pan from LYS, and I am happy that LYS is doing eyeshadows, but I understand that they want this triangle packaging, but this looks a bit ugly. It's okay, they are just repurposing the packaging. I think today I will dupe this one because it is pretty easy to dupe. But this is their first palette, so I am glad that they are adding a bit of color at least. So we have a mustard, and that one looks really nice. And then two shimmers that are a bit more colorful, a pink and a green. So I am excited that LYS is doing eyeshadow. I'm not gonna buy this one, but like I said, I am happy for them and I will dupe this one probably. Then we have the Trixie Cosmetics. This one is like a rainbow palette. This one looks really nice. I really want to try Trixie Cosmetics at some point. They are available at Beauty Bay from what I know. And this palette looks really nice. It has a lot of mattes, which I really like. And the packaging looks really nice. I do like this palette. It looks really good, but right now I don't want to buy a lot of palettes. I am on a low buy on palettes, and this is, I mean, I do have colorful shades. This is not that unique, but I appreciate the packaging, I appreciate the color story, I appreciate the vibe, everything. So this, I think it's a good color story and palette and everything, but it's not for me at this moment. But I want to talk about it because it is a good palette. Then we have these ones from Makeup Revolution, and they are 3 palettes with 18 shades. This looks like all the other Makeup Revolution palettes. They are always releasing this format and a bunch of palettes. I am bored of these palettes. They look nice. The green and blue color story with yellows, that one looks really nice. And the other one with purples, the other one looks very, very mid-tone, which I don't like. But the other two with purple and with green, those look nice, but too many shades. And I feel like I already saw this from Makeup Revolution, so not something for me for sure. Then we have these MAC palettes, and I am very intrigued about this. I went one time in a MAC store, and one of the girls from there did my makeup, so I did test the eyeshadows in that way, but I didn't buy any MAC shadows. But these look really nice. So we have the bigger palette that is very colorful, and I think the shades are picked very well. They look really good. I really like that palette. And then there are four 6 pans, and they are more neutrally shades, but again, they look really nice, and the front looks amazing. So I will at some point see these in stores, and I'm gonna swatch them. I'm gonna have a look. I could see myself buying one of these 6 pans. They are really beautiful. Then we have this Lawless palette. I don't think I can buy it because Lawless is not available in Europe. I don't think so. But I do appreciate this palette. It is only an 8 pan. The packaging looked nice. And these are neutral but with colors. This palette is beautiful in my opinion. And you have some maybe duochromes and some neutrals. So I really like this palette. Next we have this new Melt palette, and it looks interesting. I am curious in a way about this one. It has some blues. I don't love blue eyeshadow sadly, but this palette looks interesting. It's not my favorite. The front looks a bit strange. I feel like I am being hypnotized, but I like the color story. It is interesting, a bit colorful, I mean a lot colorful. I will wait to see when it is available at Beauty Bay. I'm gonna check more swatches and stuff like that, and then I'm gonna see. It's not my perfect color story, but I can appreciate it. So this was the last one that I wanted to talk about. Let's dupe 2 of these palettes. Okay guys, so here we are. Let's start duping 2 of these palettes. I decided on the LYS one and the Lawless one. So I have in here some palettes, and I'm gonna search for some shades. These are the 2 palettes that we are gonna use that are empty, but I forgot my tool, so 1 second. Okay, so I got my tool. This is from LYS Cosmetics, and I would like to dupe this with only one brand because that will look just more aesthetically pleasing in the palette. So let's see. I need the mustard, and then 2 browns. One is more warm toned, one is cooler toned, but I don't know if the one from the right corner, by the way, I am putting a picture in here, hopefully. I don't know if the one from the right down corner is a shimmer or a matte. Then we need a very basic light champagne, and then a pink and a green shimmer. I think this palette is pretty easy to dupe, so I'm gonna search for some shades and let's see what I got. Okay, so these are the shades. The only one that I don't have a very close shade is the left corner. That is like a browny orangey shade. I do have this one that is more red. I have this nude that is not even close. I think the nude would make more sense in the palette. I would have something to blend out with. So I will go with the nude, even though it's not close to the palette. So let me tell you the shades. The shimmery one that is a champagne is called Limbo. Then I have this pink Covet. The green is called Aether. The nudist shade is Archetype. Then we have Esteem. And lastly, I have Corazon. So I'm going to put these ones in the palette, and we have our first dupe. And then we have the Lawless palette. This will be a bit harder. I don't know if I can dupe this with only one brand. It is a bit more unique in my opinion. So I'm gonna search for some shades and then we will see what I can do. the colors are a bit tweaked, so they are a bit different. Anyway, I got shades from Little and from Natasha Denona. I was hoping that I could dupe this one only with Natasha Denona, but apparently I don't have purpley shades from Natasha. So I do have some, but they are very warm. And for this one, I need a bit of a cooler tone shade. So let's see what I got. The first shade is a more white shimmer, but I think this one should be okay. This is from the Metropolis. So I'm gonna put in here this one. Then I've got this neutral one, is from the Dream palette. So this is decently close as well, in my opinion. Then we have the problem with the blue and the purple, because that is more of a periwinkle, and the last one is more like a lilac-y something something. I think this shade is actually decently close to the last one from the first row. And then I've got this one that is a blue, so they are not very close. For the first shade on the second row, it is a pinky shade. It seems like one of these, maybe a bit of a duochrome. I need to swatch these because these are too pink, in my opinion. This is from the Pastel palette. Then I've got this one that is from the Pastel palette as well. But these again are too pink. This one I think is too bronzy. Yes, definitely too bronzy. So I'm gonna choose this one. This is from the Coral palette. So then we don't care about shapes, and then I'm gonna put the little shades in there because they are closer and we will have an ugly palette anyway. So these shimmers are beautiful though. Then I have this one. This is from Metropolis as well. I think pretty close. This one is a cream to powder actually, but I think it's pretty good in there. And then I have a shade that it seems to be one of those green to purple duochromes, and I have this one. Do I have another one? I think I have one from Little as well. Let me see. I do have this one, but this one is very green, so I don't think that one could be similar. Do I have something else? I have this one from Viseart, but this one is a bit shinier and more purple. This one is more red. I actually will choose the one from Viseart. And lastly, we have that dark purple, but it's not a plummy shade like this one. I don't think I'm gonna use this one from Natasha Denona. This is from my Dream palette because it's way too warm. And then I have this one, but this one is a bit more bluish. I think I'm gonna choose the little one. So this is our second palette. Let's have a chat and then we will do an eye look. Okay, so these are the palettes that I created today. They look really nice. I am happy with the results, even though they are not spot on. I'm gonna put up some swatches while I'm priming my eyelids. I will put, like I said, down below everything that I have on my face and the name of the shadows and the palettes that I used. And I decided today that I want to use the Lawless dupe because it seems just a bit more interesting, and I do like the color story overall a bit better. So this is the palette that we are gonna use today. I want to use all shades if possible, so I think I'm gonna do something a bit different. Usually I am doing a neutral top lid and something colorful on the waterline and on the lower lash. This time let's do the other way around because I don't think I ever did a brown lower lash and something colorful on the lid, so that could be a first. So I'm gonna start with the blue and the purple. I'm gonna put the blue in here, the purple in here in my crease. I'm gonna intensify the outer edge with this. Then I'm gonna put in the inner corner this one on the top lid in here, this one on the lid, And then we are gonna use these three on the lower lash. I'm gonna put this one on the outer edge, this one to blend this one, and then this one on the lower inner corner. So that is the plan. So I'm starting with a fluffy brush and the blue, and I'm gonna just place it right here. Let me know what palettes are interesting to you. What do you want to buy, or what do you want to dupe? Because like I said, duping palettes is very fun. I'm using the purple now, and the first brush was an E25. I'm using an E24 right now from Sigma. Now I'm taking the darker shade. Sadly, this one is a bit more blue, but it is what it is. I'm gonna blend the purple on top, and maybe it will look a bit more purple. I'm taking a clean brush and I'm blending the edges. For the lower lash, like I said, I'm taking the neutrally shades. This is the cream to powder. And then with the same brush, I'm gonna put the neutrally shade just on top. Okay, this is the matte for now. I'm gonna put some shimmers. So this is the inner corner one. I'm using just my finger because it is easier, but I'm gonna use a brush in a second for the inner corner. Then I'm using the one from Viseart. I'm gonna spray this one. I'm putting the topper shade, the one from the Coral palette, in here in the inner corner, and then we will use the neutral one for the lower lash. I've got some fallout, so let's remove that. I'm gonna put some lashes and some mascara and some liners, and I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so this is the final look. I put on the waterline the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in the shade Copper Chic, and this is so beautiful on the waterline. I can't express how beautiful this is on the waterline, because it is a bit of a cooler copper, if that is a thing, and with these shadows looks so yummy. I'm happy with this makeup. It looks really nice, and I am happy with this Lawless dupe. And for the LYS one, maybe I'm gonna do a short with it or something like that, because it is a nice palette, and I am happy that I decided to put this one in here, because now I do have something to blend, and it's just more cohesive than another brown, in my opinion. At least do a look and put a picture on Instagram. My Instagram is always in the description box, and for sure I'm gonna use this one as well. I hope this video was fun for you as well, because for me it was for sure. I really enjoy duping palettes, so if you liked it and you want to see more from me, please subscribe and give it a like, and I will see you next time.